The Galactic Council had made its first and final mistake. They had attacked Earth. Maya stood in the observation deck of the Prometheus, her dark eyes reflecting the cold void beyond the reinforced titanium glass. The debris field stretched for thousands of kilometers, twisted metal, frozen atmosphere crystals, and the shattered remains of what had once been the pride of the Vraxian armada. She didn't feel triumph. She felt the weight of what humanity had become. "Commander Maya," a voice called from behind her. William approached, his tactical uniform still bearing scorch marks from the last boarding action. "The quantum scanners are picking up nothing. No transmissions, no FTL signatures, no gravitational anomalies. The entire sector has gone dark." Maya turned to face him. William had aged 10 years in the past 6 months, though only half that time had actually passed. The temporal dilations from humanity's new drive systems did that to soldiers. His once bright eyes now carried the same haunted look that reflected in every human warrior who had survived the retaliation. "How many systems?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. 43 confirmed silent, William reported, consulting his neural interface. The faint blue glow of the holographic display illuminated his scarred features. "That's just in the immediate region. Long-range telescopes are detecting the same pattern expanding outward. Civilizations that have been broadcasting for millennia have simply stopped." Maya closed her eyes. She remembered the day the Vraxians had arrived in Sol's system, their diplomatic corvettes broadcasting messages of galactic brotherhood, of humanity's invitation to join the Council of Sentient Species. Earth had celebrated. Humanity had finally found proof they weren't alone, that the universe was filled with friends waiting to be discovered. The bombardment had begun 37 hours later. They had called it a corrective strike, punishment for humanity's unauthorized expansion into what the Vraxians claimed was protected space. 3 billion souls had been vaporized in the opening salvo. Mumbai, Tokyo, New York, Cairo, gone in flashes of antimatter fury. The Vraxians had expected surrender. They had expected Earth to grovel, to accept its place as a servitor species. Instead, they had awakened something that should have remained dormant. "The Mars Forge is requesting coordinates for the next deployment," William said, his voice mechanical. He had learned to compartmentalize, just as they all had. "Admiral Chen wants to know if we're proceeding to the Vraxian home cluster." "No," Maya said firmly, "we hold position." William's eyebrows rose. "Commander, our orders." "I know our orders, Lieutenant." Maya's tone was sharp, but her expression softened. "But I need you to understand something. We've already won. The question now is whether we can live with victory." She gestured to the view screen, where tactical overlays showed the expanding sphere of silence. "When the Vraxians hit Earth, they broke the one rule that kept species like us locked in our own solar systems. They proved that the galaxy wasn't a community, it was a hunting ground. So we stopped playing by civilized rules." William moved to stand beside her. "The Reaper Protocol." Maya nodded. Humanity had spent 2 centuries developing weapons we swore we'd never use. Quantum destabilizers, causality mines, weaponized singularities. Technologies so dangerous that every nation on Earth had agreed to keep them theoretical. Then the Vraxians killed our families, and suddenly theory became very, very practical. The first human retaliation had struck the Vraxian border outposts. Conventional weapons, relativistic kinetic impactors, fusion warheads, nothing the galaxy hadn't seen before. The Vraxians had laughed. Their shields had held. Their fleets had advanced. Then the Pandora had emerged from quantum foam, directly inside the Vraxian Senate station. The explosion had been visible from 17 light-years away. "We didn't just kill them," William said quietly. "We erased them. Their homeworld, their colonies, their civilian stations. The quantum destabilizers didn't just destroy matter. They made it so those locations could never support complex molecules again. We sterilized entire star systems down to the atomic level. And when the Manterian Confederacy tried to intervene, Maya continued, her voice hollow, when they sent their peacekeeping armada to contain the human threat, we showed them what real terror looked like. The Battle of Kepler 442 had lasted 11 minutes. Humanity had deployed causality weapons, bombs that exploded backward through time, erasing ships before they had even entered the combat zone. The Manterian fleet had ceased to exist. Then, because humanity wanted to send a message, they had continued firing. The causality mines had reached back 6 months, eliminating the shipyards where the fleet had been constructed, the training facilities where the crews had learned their craft, even the administrative offices where the deployment orders had been drafted. The Manterians had surrendered when they realized their capital city had retroactively never been founded. The other species didn't try to stop us after that, William said. They just ran, shut down their transmitters, pulled their ships back to home territories, prayed we wouldn't notice them. Maya pulled up a star chart on her wrist display. Red zones marked the areas affected by humanity's retaliation, a spreading cancer of silence across the galactic arm. Blue zones showed civilizations still broadcasting, their signals growing fainter each day as they too went dark, terrified of drawing human attention. We wanted them to fear us, she said. We wanted the entire galaxy to know that Earth could not be touched. We succeeded. She paused, her voice cracking. We succeeded so completely that we've become the monsters that the Vraxians only pretended we were. William was silent for a long moment. Outside, a patrol of human corvettes slipped through the debris field, their quantum drives leaving reality-warping trails in their wake. Weapons that broke the laws of physics, powered by humanity's most dangerous trait, the absolute refusal to accept extinction. What do we do now? He finally asked. Maya straightened her shoulders. We make a choice. Admiral Chen wants to continue the purge, to hunt down every species that stood by while Earth burned. He wants to turn the galaxy into a tomb with humanity as its only mourner. And what do you want, Commander? She turned to face him fully. I want to prove that we're more than our worst moment. The Vraxians attacked us because they saw humanity as weak, as primitive. We responded by becoming exactly what they feared, but we don't have to stay monsters. William's hand moved to his sidearm unconsciously. The crew won't accept a stand-down order. Not after what happened. You've seen the memorial walls. Every ship carries the names of everyone we lost. 3 billion ghosts demanding vengeance. I know, Maya said softly, but vengeance has a price. We've paid it. The galaxy has paid it. The question is whether we want to spend eternity collecting on a debt that can never be settled. She walked to the communications console and activated the quantum Ansible, the device that allowed instant communication across any distance by entangling particles through dimensional membranes. Another piece of technology that had remained theoretical until humanity had needed to coordinate a galaxy-wide war. This is Commander Maya of the United Earth Defense Fleet to all human vessels, she broadcast. Effective immediately, all offensive operations are suspended. We hold current positions and await further orders. The response was immediate. Angry voices filled the channel, captains demanding clarification, soldiers refusing to stand down, survivors who had lost everything screaming for the blood they had been promised. William moved to her side. They'll call you a traitor. Command will relieve you. Probably, Maya agreed. But I need someone to witness what happens next. Someone to remember that at least one human tried to stop this before we went too far. She opened a second channel, this one broadcasting on all known galactic frequencies. This is Commander Maya of Earth, transmitting to all sentient species. Humanity's retaliation is ended. We will not attack civilizations that remain neutral. We will not pursue species that seek peace. She paused, choosing her next words carefully. But we will never forget what was done to us. and we will never again allow ourselves to be vulnerable." The silence that followed was absolute. William stared at her. "You just told the entire galaxy that we're still armed, still watching, still capable of everything we've done." "Yes," Maya said, "because the truth is we can't go back to being innocent. The weapons exist. The knowledge exists. We can't unmake what we've become, but we can choose what we do next." On the view screen, the debris field continued its eternal drift. Somewhere out there, civilizations held their breath, waiting to see if humanity would make good on its promise, or if this was just another strategic deception. Maya didn't know which it would be. She only knew that for the first time since Earth had burned, someone had offered the galaxy something other than annihilation. "Commander," William said quietly, "what do you think they'll do?" Maya looked out at the stars, those beautiful, distant lights that had once represented hope and wonder, but now seemed like the eyes of prey animals, watching a predator and praying it had eaten its fill. "I think," she said finally, "that the stars will stay quiet for a very long time, not because we're still hunting, but because the galaxy has learned that some species should never be pushed to their breaking point." She turned away from the viewport, her reflection ghosting across the glass, a human woman who had helped unleash hell and was now trying to close the gates. "And I think we'll spend the rest of humanity's existence trying to prove we're more than the sum of our rage." The Prometheus held position in the silent dark, a monument to both humanity's capacity for destruction and its desperate hope for redemption. The stars watched and said nothing. Somewhere, 3 billion ghosts waited to see if their deaths had meant something more than revenge.